Morning everybody. I hope all of you are fine. Children, we have started with force and pressure yesterday and there we have discussed force in detail. Today we are going to start with pressure. Right? We are going to start with pressure today. So let us see what pressure is. Pressure is a physical quantity. Right? Pressure is a physical quantity which measures the effect of force per unit area. So, pressure is a physical quantity which measures the effect of the force per unit area. We can also say force acting on a unit area is called pressure. Force acting on a unit area is called pressure. Right? Now, the effect of applied pressure depends on following two factors, right? The effect of pressure depends upon two factors mainly. And what these factors are? These factors are number one, the magnitude of force applied. That means greater the force, greater is the pressure. Lesser the force, lesser is the pressure. And the second factor is the area over which the force is applied. Right? But here pressure is inversely proportional to area. The smaller the area of contact, greater is the effect, and larger the area in contact, then lesser will be the effect, right? So pressure depends upon two factors, right? One is the applied force and second is the area of contact. Let us see it by doing some practicals. You see here, I'm having these two bottles in my hand. This is smaller bottle, this is larger bottle. Smaller bottle will have less weight and the larger bottle will have more weight. So ultimately this bottle will apply less force and this bottle will apply more force. Right? I've got a cushion. See here, I have got a cushion. So I'm going to place these bottles one by one on the cushion. You have to see how much it sinks down. See here, when I use, you can see the level of the cushion and now I have put smaller bottle on it. You can see this much it sinks down, right? It sinks this much down. But when I replace this smaller bottle with this larger bottle, what happens now? You can see the cushion sinks more than the first case, right? When I use smaller bottle, cushion sinks less, and when I use larger bottle, cushion sinks more. What does it tell you? It tells you that the force depends upon pressure depends upon the force, and pressure is directly proportional to the force. Lesser the force, lesser is the pressure applied on the cushion. Larger the force, larger is the effect produced, or larger is the pressure applied on the cushion. When less pressure is applied, it sinks less, right? When more pressure is applied, it sinks more, right? Lesser the force, lesser is the pressure. More the force, more is the pressure, right? So from this experiment, we conclude that pressure is directly proportional to the force. Lesser the force, lesser is the pressure, and greater the force, greater is the pressure. Right? Now second factor I told you is the area of contact. Now let us see how area affects. See here, when I put bottle vertically, This much is the area in contact. You can see here, when we put bottle vertically on the cushion, this much is the area in contact. And see what is the effect? The cushion sinks this much. Right? Please be careful in your observation. When the bottle is put vertically on the cushion, this much it sinks. And now I am increasing the area in contact by placing the bottle horizontally. When I put bottle horizontally on the cushion, this much is the area in contact. And you see, this is lesser area and this is the larger area. Now you see what is the effect? When area in contact is more, the cushion sinks less. The reason being, the area in contact has increased, so pressure also has decreased. Because pressure is inversely proportional to the area. Lesser the area, greater is the effect of force. That means pressure is more. Lesser the area, pressure is more. Cushion sinks more. Now, larger the area, lesser is the effect of force and cushion sinks less. So both the things, I think these points are clear to you. Right? So we have studied 2 points. Pressure is directly proportional to the force and inversely proportional to the area in contact. Right? So mathematically we can write like this. Pressure is directly proportional to force. Right? Pressure is directly proportional to force and pressure is inversely proportional to area. If we combine these two factors, we get pressure is equal to force upon area. Right? Here P is the pressure, F is the force applied and A is the area of contact. So in this case, pressure comes out to be equivalent to force divided by area. Now you know the unit of force is Newton. Right? The unit of force is Newton and the unit of area is meter square. Right? So what will be the unit of pressure? The unit of pressure will be Newton per meter square. Right? Newton per meter square is the SI unit of pressure. It is also called Pascal. Right? It is also called Pascal. Now, here you see I am explaining the same thing which I explained earlier. In this case, the force of thumb is applied on this much area only. Right? This is the force applied and area in contact comes out to be this because the tip of the pen is very fine. Right? This is a block of papers and we are pressing it with our thumb. This is the drawing pen. Right? When we apply force on the pen, only this much area is in contact. So area in contact is small. In case of drawing pen, the result is large pressure. And this pen moves in the stack. Right? But if you come here, we are directly applying force of the thumb on the block. Right? We are applying directly the force with thumb on the wood. So this much is the area in contact. You see here, this much is the area in contact, which is much larger than this point of contact. Here area is point contact and here this much area is there in contact. So as the area has increased, the pressure is decreased. You can see here, small area, large pressure. Large area, small pressure. I think now the things are very much clear to you. How pressure depends on force and how pressure depends upon area. Right? Directly proportional to the force, greater the pressure, lesser the force, lesser the pressure. Inversely proportional to area. Larger the area, lesser is the pressure, smaller the area, larger is the pressure. Let us now see with some examples. You see here, a porter is carrying heavy load on his head, right? But you see here, before carrying the load, he keeps this round piece of cloth on his head, right? In common language we say inu, right? He makes a round piece of cloth. He takes the cloth like this and prepares a round thing like this, keeps it on the head and then puts the luggage on his head. You can see here he has kept a round piece of cloth on his head to increase the area in contact, right? By keeping this piece of cloth on the head, the area of contact of the cloth and this suitcase or this heavy load increases. As the area is increased, pressure will be decreased and heavy luggage will be carried easily by the porters. So porters keep a round piece of cloth on their head before carrying the heavy loads. Let us see one more example. You can see here, this is a heavy bridge, right? On the bridge, you see these downward poles. These are the downward poles, right? The foundation or the base pillars are thicker than the pillars above, right? All the vehicles which are moving from this bridge, they put their weight on these pillars, right? So due to that weight, pressure is decreased by making these thicker pillars so that the bridge may not sink under the heavy weight of the vehicles, right? The lower poles of the bridges, they are thicker than the upper poles, right? So here also we are using the same principle. We are increasing the area to decrease the pressure. Now here you see a skier uses skis with broader surface area. He uses large skis. These large skis, they increase the area in contact with ice. So what is the result? Below the feet of this man, ice does not melt and there is no danger of sinking into the ice, right? Same principle used here. To decrease pressure on the ice, the person is using long and broad skis, right? These are the practical applications of pressure and area. Further you see here, a sharp knife with small area of contact cuts the fruit and vegetables easily. But if the knife is blunt, it becomes rather difficult. I can show you this practically also. You can see here, I am carrying out two practicals. You see here. First of all, I will show you the area in contact. This is the fine edge of the knife, right? So you can see the area is very, very small. But if we see the blunt edge of the knife, it is this much wide, right? This much wide and this much broad, right? So what is the effect? The area in contact becomes much more than the area in contact in this case. Now let me try. You can see here, I can cut this tomato easily. You can see I can cut it easily with the fine or sharp edge of the knife, right? I have used the sharp edge of the knife and easily I have cut the tomato. Now let me try with this blunt part. You can see here, this is the blunt part. So let me try now. You see here for yourself, when I try to cut the tomato, same tomato with blunt part, I am unable, even applying more force than that, I am unable to cut. What's the reason behind it? The reason is the area of contact has increased, and by increasing area of contact, we are unable to cut because the pressure applied by my hand, the force applied my hand is acting on larger area. That's why the effect of force decreases. Right? The pressure decreases means the effect of force has decreased. By applying same force with fine edge, immediately I can cut. Right? So, practically you are seeing that when area of contact is decreased, the effect of force is heightened, pressure becomes larger, and we can easily cut the fruits and vegetables. Right? Now, let me show you one more example. See here. I am showing you another example. See here. This is a sewing needle. But if you see, the tip of this needle is fine. Right? The tip of this needle is fine. So when this comes in contact with this paper, the area of contact is lesser. And you see this part, this is blunt. And when this part comes in contact with this paper, the area of contact is larger. Now let us see what is the effect. When I prick this sheet with fine edge of the needle, it easily pierces through the paper, right? It has pierced through the paper. But when I use this blunt part, it's difficult. It's not piercing the paper even after applying the same force. The reason being, the area of contact has increased and the effect of force is decreased. That means the pressure has decreased. So both these examples make it clear that when we increase the area, the effect of force decreases, that is, the pressure decreases. Now the same principle is applied in nature also. Nature has also provided camel with broad paws. You can see here, camel has broad paws, right? Camel has broad paws, and these broad paws decrease pressure on the soil due to this heavy weight of the body. It's a large animal, so exerts large force on the soil, right? If the camel would have smaller feet, there is danger of sinking down the feet into the soft soil, right? These broad feet of the camel, they increase the area of contact and decrease pressure on the soil, and camel can move easily in the soil. Same is the case with the elephant also. Elephant is also a very heavy animal. So when it is walking on the ground, it exerts larger force. And you must have seen, elephant is also provided with large pillar-like legs. And these pillar-like legs have broad paws too. Right? The pillar-like legs have broad paws too. So what is the result? The area of contact with the ground has increased. As a result, lesser pressure is applied on the ground and it can easily move.